claiming the prize.
I love Cleveland. I love Ohio. It's great to be here.
Donald Trump is about to accept the Republican nomination and deliver the most important speech of his life. Also tonight, the power behind the candidate, daughter and confidant Ivanka Trump.
How often do you talk to him?
Often. I'm very close with him.
The most frequently mentioned presidential candidate at the Republican convention is a Democrat.
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Now she's fighting back. And Roger Ailes is out as the head of Fox News.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley, reporting tonight from the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, Ohio.
This is our Western edition. Tonight, real estate mogul Donald Trump will try to persuade the owners of a 216-year-old mansion in Washington, D.C. to give him a 4-year lease. Tonight, Trump accepts the nomination of a fractured Republican Party, and Major Garrett begins our coverage.
Donald Trump walked through the depths of the convention arena before envisioning his speech at the summit of Republican Party politics.
This feels good.
Slotted for nearly 40 minutes, it will describe an America at risk at home and abroad and weakened from within by a clubby brand of special interest politics only a wealthy businessman can fix. Trump will say, "My message is that things have to change, and they have to change right now. Every day I wake up determined to deliver a better life for the people all across this nation that have been neglected, ignored, and abandoned." Trump will also seek to minimize anxiety about his showboat temperament, well on display this convention, promising a transformation from self-promoting real estate mogul to humble, people-focused problem solver.
I want to congratulate Donald Trump on winning the nomination last night.
Humility was not the word to describe Texas Senator Ted Cruz's non-endorsement of Trump last night. He offered a coded message to Republicans conflicted about their nominee.
Stand and speak and vote your conscience.
Pro-Trump delegates cheered as the nominee descended the stairs at the end of the speech and lustily booed Cruz off the stage, validating the worst fears of some advisors who urged Cruz to boycott the convention. Cruz said he told Trump in advance that there would be no endorsement, and Team Trump reviewed the speech 2 hours in advance. This morning, Cruz met with angry Texas delegates and said Trump's personal attacks could not be ignored.
I am not in the habit of supporting people who attack my wife and attack my father.
Fears that party divisions would work in Hillary Clinton's favor burst into the open.
Anyone here thinks that I was eager to come to this convention and vote for Hillary? Thank you, sir.
Cruz tried to raise money off the controversy by sending an email to supporters, but Scott, one of the Republican Party's biggest donors, Sheldon Adelson, was so upset by Cruz's speech, he barred him from his skybox at this convention. Trump made it inside.
Major Garrett on the convention floor for us tonight. Major, thank you. Well, a majority of the Arizona delegates were supporters of Cruz, but they were bound by state law to cast their ballots for Trump, who had won the popular vote in the state. We spoke to 3 of the Arizona Republicans, Lawrence Schiff, Ian Murray, and Kathy Petsis.
I thought it was a shame that there were people booing Mr. Cruz. I felt that it was poor behavior, and that on the 3rd day of our convention, that's not what's taking place.
Doctor, were you among those shouting boo?
No, I was shouting, say the word. He was dancing around the issue of endorsing him, but he refused to do so, and he should have said, Donald and I have had our differences, but in the interests of unity and in the interests of preserving our Constitution, I hereby endorse Donald Trump.
But that is not what Ted Cruz said last night, and now I wonder if you're concerned about the unity of the Republican Party going into November.
No, I think there is something that we call the law of unintended consequences. People were so mad about Ted Cruz's performance last night. I think that so many of those people, even some of the never-Trumpers, were saying, nope, Donald is shining for me.
If you were writing Donald Trump's speech for tonight, what would it say?
I think that he I would embrace all the candidates that I came with.
I want to hear the dream. I want to hear the goals. I want to hear the positive stuff that we're going to accomplish in the next 4 years. I want to see the vision. That's what I want to see.
I don't want to see Donald Trump penalize and persecute people that he's running against. I think he can accomplish this and win this election without that. And truly, for us, I'd rather have a Trump tourniquet as we move in than a Hillary hemorrhage on our country. And that's the difference here.
Well, Donald Trump will be introduced tonight by an executive vice president of the Trump Organization, his daughter, Ivanka. Here's Juliana Goldman.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ivanka Trump got a feel for the stage earlier today. But when she introduces her father tonight, she'll cement herself as his top surrogate, filling a role typically played by a candidate's spouse.
My father, Donald J. Trump.
Her poised and measured style stands in contrast to Trump's blunt, shoot-from-the-hip personality. The 34-year-old mother of 3 recently discussed her unique position inside the Trump Organization and the campaign with CBS This Morning's Norah O'Donnell.
How often do you talk to him?
Often. I'm very close with him.
I mean, several times a day?
Yeah, at least.
To protect our God-given rights.
After Ted Cruz snubbed Trump from the stage Wednesday night, Ivanka was whispering in her father's ear. She recently helped convince him to fire his campaign manager and urged him to tone down his racially tinged criticism of the judge overseeing a lawsuit against Trump University.
Come on up here, Jared.
Trump's husband, Jared Kushner, has emerged as the de facto campaign manager. Together, they're the power center of the inner circle. Now, Ivanka is also running her father's company, including overseeing major construction projects as an executive vice president. Trump signed her first modeling contract when she was 14, and like her father, graduated from the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business. Building her own brand, she started a fashion line of affordable dresses, shoes, and handbags for professional women.
One of my life's mission is to disrupt these dated concepts of what it really looks like and means to be a working woman.
Trump also happens to be friends with another famous daughter, Chelsea Clinton. Scott, it's an unlikely pairing, especially now, but just this morning, Ivanka Trump said that politics will not be a factor in their friendship going forward.
Juliana Goldman outside the hall for us. Juliana, thank you. Nancy Cordes has discovered that there are Democrats in Cleveland, too.
This has been ugly.
You could call it a shadow convention. 12 blocks from the arena, a series of top Democrats have spent the week railing against the GOP's tone. New Jersey Senator and potential Clinton running mate Cory Booker.
What really got me here was the level and intensity of the hate and cruelty that I've seen on the floor and coming out of speakers.
Democrats argue Trump's tagline, "Make America Great Again," has taken a back seat this week to this rallying cry.
Lock her up, I love that.
Lock her up, that's right.
In a fundraising email, the Clinton campaign likened all the prison talk to a witch trial, barely one step removed from screaming, "Burn her at the stake."
And no one's condemning this in the Republican Party? No one's saying this is not who America is?
Anticipating more venom from Trump tonight, her campaign released this compilation of all his past praise for Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman. She really works hard, and I think she does a good job.
And Senator Cruz gave Clinton a new tagline of her own.
Vote your conscience.
One she promptly tweeted out and is likely to repeat on the trail.
But two can and do play at that game. Trump has been calling Clinton unqualified and knocking her for bad judgment for months, ever since her former Democratic rival Bernie Sanders started using those terms, Scott.
Nancy Cordes, thanks. Live primetime coverage begins at 7 o'clock, and I'll be joined again by Norah O'Donnell, Charlie Rose, Gayle King, and John Dickerson, along with Bob Schieffer. Today, the man who created conservative-leaning Fox News 2 decades ago was forced out over allegations of sexual harassment. Vanita Nair is covering.
The statement by 21st Century Fox made no mention of the sexual harassment allegations or the golden parachute Ailes will allegedly walk away with. Instead, Rupert Murdoch thanked him for his remarkable contributions and said Ailes made important issues accessible to a broader audience, in stark contrast to the self-serving elitism that characterizes far too much of the media. Murdoch will now serve as acting CEO and chairman of Fox News. The stunning fall of the 76-year-old began more than 2 weeks ago when former Fox anchor Gretchen Carlson filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against him.
So what is the real story? Well,
Carlson claimed she was fired for refusing his sexual advances. That's when Fox's parent company, 21st Century Fox, launched an internal investigation. Today, Gretchen Carlson's lawyer said in a statement, "We hope that all businesses now understand that women will no longer tolerate sexual harassment, and reputable companies will no longer shield those who abuse women." Ailes built Fox News Channel into a top-rated cable network that held tremendous influence over the Republican Party.
Tonight's the night.
His resignation has prompted questions about the future of not only Fox, but the overall media landscape. Jim Rutenberg covers media for the New York Times.
Fox News has been such a part of our dialogue, and that's the Fox News that Roger Ailes created. Without Roger Ailes, Fox News changes, and I think our political dialogue changes somewhat.
Late today, Ailes sent Murdoch a note. In part, it read, "I am proud that we have built Fox News and Fox Business channels into powerful and lucrative news organizations. I take particular pride in the role I have played advancing the careers of the many women I have promoted." Scott?
Vanita and I are outside Fox headquarters in New York. Vanita, thank you. Well, extreme heat broiling the central U.S. is moving east for the weekend. From the Great Lakes to the Atlantic, temperatures are expected well into the 90s with high humidity. Heat advisories have been posted in 23 states. Here's Dean Reynolds.
It gets hot from time to time on the floor of the Republican convention, but it's nothing compared to the 93 degrees protesters outside Quicken Loans Arena are facing.
There have been people passing out free water recently. I just bought 5 bottles to make sure I had something to drink.
Across the country this week, a blanket of hot air has landed with a suffocating, often triple-digit thud. It scorched construction workers in California, singed softball players in Kansas, and even stressed out trout in Montana, where some of the state's most popular streams were closed as a consequence. In Chicago, 92 degrees with humidity felt like 105. A 9-mile-an-hour breeze barely cut through the haze. Ernestine Griffin rides the bus to stay cool. She has no AC at home.
Terrible. Terrible. It seemed like the mattress is on fire.
But when people go outside to beat the heat, another threat awaits some of them: violence. It's so bad in Griffin's West Side neighborhood, just opening a window can be risky.
I prefer not. Straight bullets every day is on the news.
Chicago is more famous for its cold weather, but the city is not about to take the heat lightly. Back in 1995, Scott, another summer heat wave killed more than 700 people here.
And it's plenty hot in Cleveland, too. Dean, thank you. Coming up next, his hands were up. So why did the police shoot him? The state of Florida is investigating a police shooting in North Miami. A Hispanic officer shot and wounded an unarmed black man. The victim was a mental health worker who was trying to return an autistic patient to a group home. Jerika Duncan's following this.
This was the scene captured on cell phone video Monday. 47-year-old Charles Kenzie, unarmed, laying on his back, hands raised in the air. The younger man sitting next to him is autistic and escaped from a nearby facility. Kenzie is his caretaker there.
He has something in his hands. All units use caution. He has something inside of his hands.
Police say they were responding to a 911 call of a man with a gun threatening to commit suicide. An object can clearly be seen in the young man's hand.
The guy is loading up his weapon.
The object was a toy truck. At some point during the incident, one officer reportedly fires 3 shots, not seen on video, hitting Kenzie once in the upper leg. A second video shows police handcuffing both men. Kenzie is recovering at a local hospital.
I still got my hands in the air. I say, no, I just got shot. And I'm standing there, I'm like, sir, why did you shoot me? And his words to me, he said, I don't know.
Police Chief Gary Eugene has been on the job less than 2 months.
I want to make it clear there was no gun recovered.
The officer, a Hispanic male, has been placed on desk duty. Police Union Rep John Rivera.
This is a case where a police officer was trying to save Mr. Kinsley's life, and unfortunately, his shot went astray.
As long as I got my hands up, they're not going to shoot me. This is what I'm thinking. They're not going to shoot me. Wow, was I wrong?
Today, U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch said she is aware of the incident and that her department is monitoring the investigation. Scott, the state attorney's office says any charges against the officer would only be determined after a thorough investigation.
Jerika Duncan with the story tonight. Jerika, thank you. Still ahead, the NBA is moving the All-Star game out of Charlotte. The NBA is pulling next year's All-Star game out of Charlotte, North Carolina, because of the new state law that limits discrimination protection for gays, lesbians, bisexual, and transgender people. Charlotte will lose an estimated $100 million in business connected to that game. Southwest Airlines is recovering from a widespread computer failure that caused more than 1,100 flights to be canceled the last 2 days. Southwest hopes to be back to normal tomorrow. Coming up next, John Dickerson and Bob Schieffer will face the nation.
This portion of the CBS Evening News is sponsored by Trivago.com. The hotel search. Hotel Trivago.
Two of the nation's top political reporters are here. John Dickerson and Bob Schieffer face the nation. Congratulations on your Emmy Award nomination today. John, what have you been seeing?
Well, you know, Scott, this week started out, there were some nervous Republicans, but they felt good about the Mike Pence pick. They felt like Donald Trump had picked somebody sensible, and that meant he had an eye towards the fall, because what they were nervous about was his unpredictability. Well, now that unpredictability has come back. Melania Trump's speech was clouded by the plagiarism. Donald Trump is in a fight with the popular governor of the very important state of Ohio. And then last night, Ted Cruz took things off script. So people are feeling nervous again that there is just this drama that surrounds Donald Trump and that'll hurt them in the fall. So what they're looking for tonight is for him to begin the process of either saying, I'm going to calm things down again, or to show them something that makes them feel, well, it may be a chaotic campaign, but he's got talents that make it worthwhile.
Bob, you've covered every convention since '68.
Well, I tell you, this was supposed to be a coming together. What we saw instead is a party that seems to be coming apart. I mean, think about this. The old style, old guard of the Republican Party didn't even show up, the Bush-Romney wing. They didn't come out here. And then last night you saw Ted Cruz, who considers himself the leader of the right wing. He came out, did not endorse Donald Trump. The Trump people knew that was going to happen. They could have stopped it. Instead, they made a calculated decision to let him come out and walk directly into what turned out to be an ambush. And I must say, it delighted no one more and no group more than some of his colleagues up in the Senate, where he's not very well liked. One of them told me today, I haven't laughed so hard. He said, I can't remember ever laughing aloud when someone committed political suicide. They've got some coming together still to do.
Bob Schieffer, John Dickerson, thank you very much. John will have a special guest Sunday on Face the Nation, President Barack Obama. And that's the Western edition of the CBS Evening News from Cleveland. Live primetime coverage begins at 7 o'clock, and we'll see you then.